My name is Dr. Davian Morgan. I am the new middle school principal here at DC International School.
Morning. Don't mind me.
I have close to 800 middle school students here at DCI across 6th through 8th grade.
Now we've got the next 5 minutes to get to class.
Kids are super smart, they're super inquisitive, they want to learn the things about the world, and quite honestly, a group that I can't compare to any other group of kiddos in the city. I was raised by my mom and my grandmother, loved them to death, and they would do everything for me. Growing up where I grew up, my zip code 100% determined the type of education that I received. My time at the University of Maryland ultimately set me up for a completely different life and lifestyle that I was prepared for beforehand. They brought in all the IAP recipients during the summertime, which helped us to build a camaraderie amongst our group, but also get the pre-college experience before jumping straight into the fall semester. During that time, we also had the opportunity to connect with Ms. Christine White, who was a professor of criminology at the University of Maryland, and then of course, Jackie Wheeler. Jackie definitely played the part of second mom. She is someone who showed a lot of care for not only me, but everyone else in our cohort, but was also a tough cookie and was like, no, I'm going to hold you accountable to these things. I knew that I was always going to be pushed to reach a bar, not only from my family, but from her as well. I needed that guidance of like, your freshman year is going to be hard, no matter how prepared you think you may be, no matter what school district you're coming from, no matter what GPA you have, no matter how many friends you have, it's gonna be hard.
Good morning, y'all.
I was a very shy and timid kid, and getting to the University of Maryland, it was like, nope, speak up. Nope, stand in front of the crowd. We're about to do this. You're responsible for this thing. You need to take accountability for this. Having those mentors, having Jackie there by my side, I had multiple opportunities to practice networking, to practice public speaking, which is a huge part of school leadership. Those were the first true mentors that I had ever experienced, and in my freshman year especially, I needed that. And now for me, I want to ensure that as many kids as possible had the opportunity to be mentored as early as possible.
Put your best effort.
Hopeful Horizons is a nonprofit that I started in 2018. It honestly started as a small after-school club. We did academic tutoring. We ran through SEL lessons on how to better manage our emotions, how to navigate friendships in elementary school. Parents were talking to each other and noticed like progress and improvement in their grades and their behavior. And over time, it grew from a group of probably 15 kids after school to about 30 kids after school. It got to a point where I was just like, okay, this is much bigger than me now. Let me explore this idea of taking it the nonprofit route. And before you know it, within 2 years, we eventually had students as far as Richmond and Newport News, Virginia, who would join us online, students in New York, students in Philly.
100% there with you. Do not bottle those feelings in.
For anyone who was in the DMV region, we would do in-person events. We would go to local libraries. We would just visit the National Mall, visit some museums. So it's something that I'm really proud of that started off quite small as an after-school club and grew into something that to this date probably has close to 300 boys in it right now. I think the idea that like we can find a mentor for everyone, and the earlier the better that we can catch folks and give them the support is what's really gonna set students up for success. You should be super proud of yourselves. You all made a ton of growth on your math assessments. It's something that I really push on our kids all the time. Aside from academic excellence, I'm not just worried about how well you perform, I'm most interested in your growth and having this growth mindset, which was another push for a lot of us throughout the IAP program. IAP transforms lives. I genuinely don't know where I would be today if I didn't get the IAP scholarship and went to the University of Maryland. Who knows if I would even have become a teacher or become a school leader now if I hadn't gone to the University of Maryland because of gracious donors to the IAP program. One of the biggest reasons why I wanted to go into education was that I was going to be able to impact multiple lives. Now I'm at a much larger school with nearly 800 students and more students who I can impact. And hopefully through my guidance and support of them, they will grow up to become students who maybe go to the University of Maryland one day, or go to trade school, or start a business. Those ripple effects will continue not only just from the one scholar who received that scholarship, but will essentially spread out and onwards to anyone else who's been impacted by their lives.